You know how much I like tools. There's nothing like having the right tool to do the job. But sometimes the right tool doesn't exist. In all the years I've worked around old gas and diesel engines, there's one thing that's very frustrating, and I've never been able to find the right tool, and that's how do you get stuck vacuum hoses off? How do you get stuck diesel fuel injector return line off? You can use a pair of needle nose, you grab a hold of it, what happens is you end up damaging the hose. As a last resort, I've often used these cutters to come in and actually cut the hose, then I have to replace the hose. Well, finally, I just had it, and I decided I needed to make my own tool. And that's the tool you see here, a special tool with a modified needle nose pliers that will allow me to get in underneath a hose, whether it be a small fuel hose or a small vacuum hose, and pull from the back side so I can remove that hose without damaging it. These braided injector return hoses can be a real bear to get off. When you start pulling on them, they act just like a Chinese finger trap, and they get tighter and tighter, and if you pull too hard, you'll eventually damage the hose, and you'll need to replace it every time you work on your fuel injectors. So my curved nose pliers here can get in behind and underneath this injector return line, and I can work it from the back side and pull it out. I don't need to come all the way out, I just remove it like that, see? Now, if you do damage the tip with the jaw of the plier, then I can come in here and all I do is I can just cut maybe 1/8 of an inch off. And if this hose isn't too old, I can go ahead and reuse it and push it right on back on the fuel injector. The other hose that can be very frustrating is a vacuum hose that's been on for a long period of time. These things literally get stuck. And if you try to pull it off, you're getting the same thing, the old Chinese finger trap. So this curved nose plier can come in behind the bottom side of the hose like that and just light pressure, and you start pulling it back, and eventually it'll loosen up the hose and pull it right off. So this has become one of my favorite tools working in and around an engine compartment. Recently I've found a number of different uses for this pair of pliers, particularly on the interior of the car. You can use this to get some types of interior trim off. And if you ever remove a door panel and have one of those stuck plastic clips, getting on the head of that clip and pulling the clip out, this is the tool you want to have. And I'm sure as I continue to work on these old cars, I'll find even more uses for this unique tool. So I call this Kent's Curved Nose Pliers, and we are in production for this tool. We're going to be offering it on our website. You can go to Mercedessource.com and just put Kent's Curved Nose Pliers in the search box, and it'll take you right to them. And by the way, if you were impressed with this cutter, particularly how clean it cuts fuel hose, I also carry this on my website. It even has 5 spare blades in the handle. You're going to love this tool also.